So I absolutely love having the opportunity to chat with you, to chat with our ever-growing audience. But I'd actually love for you to have that opportunity as well. We actually have advertising opportunities available with rebelnews.com. We don't get handouts from the government. We trust on supporters, viewers, and advertisers like you. So instead of folks listening to me in this spot, they could actually be checking out your company, getting information about your business. For more information or to advertise with us, send an email to ads@rebelnews.com.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You have tuned in to the Rebel News live stream on this, a Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. I'm David Menzies, and my co-host, well, let me tell you a little about my co-host, folks. Do you know that today is National Rice Pudding Day? But when you have dinner with my friend, you don't have rice pudding. You don't have any dessert, because she's so darn sweet. She is the she-devil with a slingshot. She is the Khaleesi of Mount Royal. She is Alexa Lavoie. Hey, how you doing there, Alexa?
I'm good. I just like how you present me. It's always like I'm always something new, you know. Now I'm as a pudding. It's fine.
Yeah. Do you like rice pudding, or do you have to be either 8 years old or 80 years old to eat rice pudding?
I would say that more I get old, my body get like a pudding.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying, sister. That's why I'm getting my candy ass on my bicycle as much as possible. Right now, I'm fat. I don't want to become circus fat. So there you go. Anyhow, Alexa, usually I'm co-hosting the show with the Khaleesi of the Khaleesis. That would be Sheila Gunn-Reid, our wonderful chief reporter. And this is where she usually tells the people what we're trying to do here today. So take it away, my friend.
Me? Okay. So today, as you know, for everybody, it's the daily live stream. We talk about actuality. We'll discuss. We'll give our opinion. And as you know, if everything is safe, we will stay on YouTube. But as you know, YouTube doesn't like when we question the science.
Yep.
So you will need to change platform, but you can find all the link in the bio. So it would be Rumble, Odyssey, and Getter. So if you see that we change platform, please follow us. And as well, through all our show, you can give us some comment, question. We will answer through the hour that we have with you guys. So send us some super chat. We'd like to read from you.
100%. Yes, and as Alexa mentioned, folks, you can't question the science on YouTube when it pertains to COVID-19. We've already been demonetized more than a year ago for absolutely no reason at all, and I'm not kidding, no reason at all. And we don't want to be deplatformed, and you can't also question the integrity of the U.S. election. I'm speaking of the 2020 U.S. election. If you want to question the integrity of the 2016 election, fill your boots. They're okay with that. Unbelievable. They don't even hide the hypocrisy anymore. But speaking of the U.S. and elections and presidents, my God, Alexa, I'm not a resident of the U.S., but I love the United States of America and what it stands for. And what we saw yesterday, where the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago, that is the gorgeous resort in Florida. I was there, 2019. It's an astonishing piece of real estate. It is huge, so I'm not sure if they gave the number of officers, but you would need maybe a couple of hundred at least to do a thorough raid. But this is something we have never seen before, Alexa, when it comes to a U.S. president or an ex-U.S. president. I can't remember, at least in modern history, this ever happening. And, when you think of it, the Republicans could have done this to Bill Clinton in 1998. but they did not. They could have done it to Hillary Clinton. Remember the bleaching of all the emails? And to put this into the current timescape, what about Joe Biden? We know he is beholden to foreign governments. We know his crackhead son has a laptop full of incriminating evidence, and evidently that's a big nothing burger when it comes to the Department of Justice or the FBI or their useful idiots in the mainstream media. By the way, how is it always CNN is always on the scene when there is a midnight raid or anything like that? Yeah, exactly. Who tips them off? Alexa, like I said, this is Banana Republic stuff, and I was astonished that this happened, especially since Donald Trump was cooperating with the investigation going back to the so-called insurrection of January 6th. And, I got to tell you, every time I hear that I word, insurrection, you had more than 1 million people at the Capitol, and that was the end result. A bunch of people that looked like they were going to Comic-Con, going onto Capitol Hill, many of them ushered in by law enforcement. So he was cooperating. He wasn't hiding. Not only did they raid Mar-a-Lago, Alexa, but they actually broke into his safe and took documents. And there's Johnny on the spot, our friend Juan. He's there, or he was there yesterday. And I think this is a disgrace. And what I'm going to say, I think the motivation for this, Alexa, was with the January 6 hearings, that has been a collective nothing burger. You haven't seen people rising up and screaming about it. They realize this is, most people, even if you're a Democrat, this is a kangaroo court, that January 6 was not an insurrection. And also, they're making, I think, Alexa, Donald Trump to be a martyr almost. They have never stopped picking on this man, even before he became president. They came up with the Russian collusion dossier, which was a complete falsehood. And they've been going after this man repeatedly and repeatedly, like a dog on a bone. I am predicting that with the midterms coming up in November, it's going to be a red wave. But because of what they did yesterday, that red wave is going to be a red tsunami. There is going to be sympathy towards this man. I'm not talking now, when you look at Trump Nation, they hate the Democrats. They always support Trump. That's not the issue here. I'm talking about the millions of Americans that are in the middle, and maybe some reluctant Democrats, the people who had to hold their nose and vote Democrat. They see this. They see this as an attack, not on Donald Trump, but I would argue an attack on the Constitution, on the United States of America itself. You want an insurrection? What we saw yesterday, that's an insurrection. Alexa, what are your thoughts?
My thought is Trump is more love that they pretend that it is, and they don't want him to win the next election, of course. So they will do whatever they can to make him looking bad or finding something against him, and it's what they try to do. And the only thing is, like, when you try too much, you actually look that you try to hide something, and it's actually what they are doing. More they push to try to find something against him, more it's look like the government have something to hide, or the government. Why they push so hard against him? Because you have nothing really like to find at the end. Like I'm not sure like what they will find at the end of the day, because Trump is, I don't know if it's transparent, but he always like show, like, he's not really scared to show that he did some bad in the past, and he's pretty truthful when he talk, and it's why a lot of people doesn't like him, because of his like frank parler, we say in French, like the free way to speak. In sometimes it's like shock people, but it's how he is. And I don't know. For me, what he did last night, like, I think it was how many police officers, how many RCMP was there? Like they were a lot. I think we never seen as much officer for one man.
Oh, I agree. And like I said, I think it's because of the vast size of Mar-a-Lago. If you ever go there, it is a huge property, Alexa. But I think you're right. I think this is a preemptive strike by the Democrats because they fear Trump. They see how their popularity is declining. Let's not forget, when we had President Trump in office, this is what I say to my American friends. Is your life better or worse today than 2 years ago? Because under Trump, Alexa, you had America as energy self-sufficient for the first time in something like 70 years. Now you have President Biden begging OPEC nations for oil because of stopping the fracking, stopping pipelines, stopping issuing leases to drill. So as a result, no longer energy self-sufficient. And look at the price at the pump over $5, over $6 in certain states as well. You had record low unemployment, record low Latino unemployment, record low Black unemployment, record low female unemployment. What I'm getting at, by every benchmark, the United States of America, and by the way, no inflation either, right? I mean, some grocery store items in 2 years, Alexa, are now double the cost that they were going back to. It's unbelievable. And also, for all the manufacturers out there, will you stop shortening the portions? You're not fooling anyone. Something that used to be, 1,000 grams is now like 890 grams. No, I know. I can see you've stolen 110 grams of cheese from that package. So quit that. But the point is, the United States of America, and I should also mention, how could I forget, Alexa, in terms of international policy, I think the world was a far safer place. And Donald Trump was not a hawkish president, quite the opposite. He took out some terrorists like Soleimani, as he should have, but you didn't see Russia emboldened to invade, say, the Ukraine as they did earlier today. You didn't see China gearing up for what is almost certainly going to be an assault on Taiwan. The point is, China, Russia, Iran, which is going nuclear, it's only a matter of time, they don't respect this administration in power right now. Trump was the proverbial walk softly and carry a big stick kind of president. But the malignment that this man has endured, I can't understand how he brushes it off. I think many people would crumble under this kind of pressure. It is just remarkable, the strength of this man. And let's not forget, if this is all tied into January 6th and the January 6th hearings, which he was cooperating with, as you know, Alexa, going back to that day, he reached out to Nancy Pelosi and said he was prepared to issue 15,000 National Guard troops to come to Washington as security. And that offer was turned down. Why? So the point is, the Democrats wanted shenanigans like this to occur. And when I speak of, shenanigans, I'm not talking about, an actual armed insurrection, terrorists coming into government buildings with bombs. I'm talking about a bunch of people that went in, as I said earlier, many of them welcomed in by law enforcement, and just taking dumb selfies. I mean, they were stupid to do this. I'm sure every one of them is having buyer's regret. We're seeing some. The other day, there was one, I think, sentenced to 7 years, which is an outrageous amount of time for that. And I think ultimately this is to chop Donald Trump at the kneecaps in terms of running again. I think it is a complete backfire. I believe that after the midterms coming up this November, Alexa, that is when Donald Trump will formally announce he is going to run in 2024. I might be wrong, but the way I'm reading the tea leaves,
I'm pretty sure they would run. I'm pretty sure.
I think so too. And despite what the Democrats are doing, despite what the Never Trumpers are doing, despite what the rhinos are doing, and I hate them almost as much as I hate the Democrats, maybe even more when I think about it, this man is galvanizing public support. I don't see anything changing in the lives of the average American when it comes to inflation, unemployment, the state of the world in terms of the bullies flexing their muscles. And I think there's a very, very good chance this man will win. And despite what they did yesterday, the Democrats have accelerated that process. They haven't stopped, cut it off at the pass.
And what they did yesterday, that would just bring more supporter to Trump, because I'm sorry, what do you want for like prime minister? Someone who sleep all the time, who get lost a little bit in his mind, or someone who know what he's talking about?
Yeah, and since you mentioned prime minister, let's hope for regime change on this side of the border. By the way, and we should talk about that. We're only a month away from the Conservative Party of Canada nomination meeting. By all indications, it looks like Pierre Poilievre is the prohibitive favorite. I know Tom Mulcair on Twitter the other day suggested there is a path to victory for Jean Charest. I'll believe it when I see it. And if Jean Charest becomes leader of the Conservative Party, I'm sorry, it will have.
I'm leaving the country.
Oh yeah, good God, we're not going to do that again. Another red Tory 3 times in a row. No. Here's the question I have for you, Alexa. Yep. There are all kinds of rumors, and they might be more than rumors, but what we don't know, that Justin Trudeau might call a fall election. And basically, based on 2 things. One is his own massive ego, something that casts a shadow on the CN Tower here in Toronto. And the other thing is that this guy is actually believing the propaganda by the mainstream media trained seals that Pierre Poilievre, he's an extremist. He polarizes people. He scares people from supporting the Conservatives. I think, well, it's all garbage. I mean, I've been to several Poilievre rallies, as have you, and you see the makeup of the audience. But I think maybe Trudeau is reading the tea leaves and saying, this is the time to strike when there's an extremist ahead of the Conservative Party. I think he'll be in for one hell of, what do they call it again? An October surprise. What are your thoughts, Alexa? First of all, do you think we might indeed be headed to the polls in just a month or 2?
Yeah, but my question is, they don't have yet vote for the leader of the Conservative Party. So do Mr. Trudeau can start an election without a leader at the Conservative Party? So if they don't have a leader, how they can go and do campaign against Trudeau if they have nobody at the end who is there? You have no leader.
That is a good point, Alexa, but there's always been in this country, it's almost a gentleman's agreement that we won't call an election unless you have a leader. Okay. So they'll wait to that. But I would argue this. He wants to wait until after the leader is chosen to make sure it's Poilievre and run on a platform of the Justin Trudeau Liberals, we're the anti-extremists, which is a lot of nonsense, of course. So I don't think there's any chance of him calling an election before September 10th, that's for sure, because he wants, I think, Poilievre to be the leader of that party. And how does the old adage go, Alexa? Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, but in the same time, why Mr. Trudeau wants that? Because inflation will getting more bad, and it will just increase. And we know that baby boomer or old people know that when you have like a crisis like that, a big inflation or maybe a recession, you don't change leaders. You continue with the same leader. So that will help him in his favor. But in the same time, Pierre Poilievre is way more loved than he thinks. And he is like a bull shark. He you will destroy him during the leader debate.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I can't wait for that. We'll have to go back down to the Museum of Civilization in Gatineau and get a front row
Yes.
ticket for that. Maybe he'll actually have the decency, that's the Prime Minister, to actually take your question as opposed to skirting it. What a coward. But you know, you're right, inflation, the price at the pump. And let's not forget, Alexa, what is happening at the airports. Pearson Airport is #1 in the world, the worst airport in terms of delayed flights. And keep in mind, Alexa, that data from FlightAware, it's a US-based tracking service, they even look at airports situated in third world nations, okay? And Pearson is the worst for delayed flights. It's #4 in the world for, missed connections. And the lineups are horrendous, same as Montreal Trudeau. I saw a photo on the weekend of the lines at Montreal Trudeau. I think it was a little video of a woman looking for her lost child. I couldn't believe it. I mean, the sheer throngs of humanity. Also last week, and I did a monologue on Ezra's show last week about this, ArriveCAN issued a press release. And what was conspicuous by the absence was that any mention of the retirement date for ArriveCAN, also missing by, conspicuous by its absence, Alexa, any mention of COVID-19, which was the reason for ArriveCAN. My hunch is that the CBSA is basically saying to us, get used to ArriveCAN. It is here to stay as in forever. And they could, I went to a press conference at the airport on Friday here at Pearson, and they were bragging about improvements. And I think they were saying that for the delayed flights, I'm trying to remember the number. It was less than 50% of the flights on time. I think it was 42% of the flights are now on time, which is an increase. Can you imagine, Alexa? I mean, if you were a baseball player and you were hitting .420, you would be the greatest slugger since Ted Williams of the Boston Red Sox in the 1940s. But if you're a business and you're scoring less than 50%, that's a failure. You don't brag about that in a press release, but they do. And guess what? No heads roll. Nobody gets fired. They just don't give a rodent's rectum, my friend. Oh, are you frozen? Look at that. Wasn't that a beautiful picture of Alexa? That's fantastic.
Oh,
she's back. Oh, there you go. Are you back, Alexa?
I don't know what happened.
You froze.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I disappeared in the cloud.
But I was just saying, at the end of the day, what we're seeing at the airports, Alexa, it's virtue signaling. It has nothing to do with health and safety. And the leaders, such as Trudeau, when he went a week and a bit ago to Costa Rica for his surfing safari and Bong Fest, he doesn't have to get into lines. He doesn't do ArriveCAN. Oh. He doesn't, get screened. So there is a complete lack of empathy. So when you see that photo of those people in Montreal, which was absolutely despicable, and Marco Mendicino, the public safety minister, he had the gall last week to say that the improvements to ArriveCAN at Montreal Trudeau was lessening the time in line by 1/3. Once again, another bold-faced lie from Marco Mendicino, folks, a.k.a. Pinocchio with a portfolio.
This is actually the opposite. ArriveCAN is created this massive lineup, this massive waiting line, and because it's not made for having as much people to download it and to use it in the same time. At the beginning, it was really for proving your vaccination status and your quarantine plan. But now it's there for staying because it's not working only for the COVID. Like now we have like your vaccination status, but it has as well your citizen proof, your as well your itinerary. And now they will add the hotel and they will add your institution of financial institution. They will add like so many different things that now all that what you will do in this world will be like scanning your application, like your ArriveCAN. It will be your next vaccine passport, but for now, digital identity to prove who you are. So you will need to scan that to every single place that you go. And this is what I'm afraid to, because this is actually what the World Economic Forum have promoting on their website. It is the non-digital traveler identity. And it's what they signed in 2018. It's not going anywhere. It's been signed. They spent $105 million for during 5 years for this app. Do you think really they would have spent that amount of money for something that is just temporary? No, it's not. People need to wake up. It's there for staying. And if we don't push it back, it will destroy what we know as a life now. You see it? It's the World Economic Forum, and it's on the page of Government of Canada with the agreement with Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Alexa. When you look at the mandates of the World Economic Forum, everything seems to be designed to make our lives more miserable. Give up a hamburger, eat a bowl of crickets or mealworms. Once again, they're resurrecting a failed policy of theirs from 2016. Give up your personal car, your automobile, your freedom machine. No, I don't think so. We live in a country where most of the year is very cold and we can't get around on a bicycle. And I don't really want to get into a crammed public transit vehicle. And by the way, whatever happened to social distancing in the name of COVID? You are far more, wouldn't you agree, Alexa, healthy being in a car is basically an aquarium on wheels. It's, you're a solo driver, you're away from anyone, as opposed to getting cheek to jowl with public transit riders. But the other point you touched on, whether it's driven by World Economic Forum or just absolute incompetence by this government, increasingly, Alexa, this country is becoming dysfunctional. The airports are a god-awful mess. The passport offices, as you've demonstrated in Montreal with that incredible video from last month, where people are coming with lawn chairs and tents to camp out overnight. And why is that? Oh, because bureaucrats are still on their fat ricotta cheese candy asses working from home, as opposed to being on the front lines actually doing their job. So increasingly, this country is not functioning. Again, we are going down the road of third world nation status simply in the name of virtue signaling. But you know what? We've gone over time for our ad, Alexa, so let us run a quick ad, folks, and we'll be right back. Hey, folks, check out the newest arrival to the Rebel News store. Yes, F is for Fidel, and F is for father. I mean, could it be? Yes, half this photo, the colored half, is Justin Trudeau. The black and white half is a young Fidel Castro. Wait now, or is it vice versa? It's so confusing. I'm a huge Forensic Files fan. Wouldn't it be great if we could have a piece of Justin's DNA and a piece of Fidel's DNA and put the rumor to bed once and for all? But in the meantime, we'll just have to walk around wearing this shirt, hinting at a great Canadian conspiracy. Or is it? In any event, if you want to get this shirt, folks, go to the Rebel News store and check this out. Type in our new discount code, that's SUMMER, SUMMER, and if you buy 2 unisex t-shirts, you get an additional one for free. What a deal. Like I said, Justin Trudeau, Fidel Castro, as they used to say on the ABC detergent ads. Can you tell the difference? I can't tell the difference. I love it. Oh, thank you, Alexa. That's our number one seller this summer for good reason. And I got to tell you, over the weekend, I believe it was, Joe Rogan was speculating Is Fidel Castro Justin Trudeau's father? It's the rumor that won't go away. We know Maggie liked to globetrot, shall we say. What do you think, Alexa? Maybe it's a complete nothing burger. Maybe it's the truth. There's no in between. But I have to tell you, the resemblance of Justin Trudeau and a young Fidel Castro, as I said in the ad, it is absolutely uncanny. Maybe it's a cosmic coincidence. Maybe it's something more. What are your thoughts?
But I find that the resemblance is really, really obviously. But in the same time, the family, like his dad and his mother was really close to Fidel Castro.
Oh, yes.
And they went to Cuba pretty often. And I know that the mother of Justin Trudeau was pretty close from Fidel Castro. We saw in many, many pictures, like giving to each other like some kiss, but like kiss on the cheek for sure. But we don't know if you have more. But they look like actually a family there. Like,
look at that look on her face. And by the way, the previous photo of Fidel, I don't know when that was taken, but he looks kind of like Dom DeLuise with a beard. But we'll have to see if Justin ages the same way. But I know the Prime Minister.
It's just a speculation, but maybe Pierre-Elliott Trudeau was not capable to give like children, and so they use Fidel Castro for having like a sperm donator.
That's fascinating. So what you're saying, Alexa, as they say down in Alabama, this dog don't hunt. Well, you know what? Unless we get Justin Trudeau to agree to a DNA match, even though Fidel Castro has passed away, I'm sure there is some existing DNA. Like I said, I'm a huge Forensic Files fan. But it could only be lose-lose for him. First of all, he would never entertain the idea to give oxygen to this rumor. Secondly, what if the test comes back positive? Holy mackerel, we got some problem now, Lucy. But in the meantime, you can wear your statement of Justin Trudeau's DNA origins on a T-shirt, and you will be mighty fashionable doing so. In any event, we have a video here about the RCMP's previous use of covert spyware without first obtaining a warrant. Oh, yeah. Who needs to go through all that? That kind of reminds me, Alexa, the Montreal Police Service a year ago, April, when they wanted to raid our houseboat, legal B&B houseboat, 3 people under capacity. And for 10 and a half hours, they laid siege to it, trying to get a warrant from a judge. And it might have been 2-3 judges. They shopped it around. And they said, what? You need a warrant to do a raid, not on drug dealers or human traffickers, but journalists? Jump in the lake. But they really made life miserable for us. So so we know how the Montreal Police Service rolls. They tried to get in without a warrant. And now it is the RCMP. Oh, and my goodness, Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino, a.k.a. Pinocchio with a portfolio. He's got a role in this, too. Let's roll the video.
In the testimony of the Privacy Commissioner, when we were talking and referencing the use of Stingray technology, which sets up phantom cell towers to intercept cell phone information, it was noted that there were instances that the use had happened without a warrant. Are you aware of any instances when this might have been used, and I think it was extringent circumstances or something to that effect? Are you aware of any instances where that would have happened?
Yeah, I think the precise test would be whether or not they're exigent or emergency circumstances. But it is my knowledge that these have all been subject to prior judicial authorization. I would invite you to put the question directly to the RCMP as well.
Was it my
He's a good swimmer, huh? In the light. I'm trying to get out of it.
Well, maybe I need to get my vision checked, Alexa. But was I imagining things, or was Marco's nose actually getting more elongated the more he talked? This is, of course, and if you think I'm being, if you think I'm exaggerating, folks, keep in mind, Marco Mendicino still will not back down to the lie of lies regarding the trucker convoy, which was law enforcement asked the government to invoke the Emergencies Act. Not a single law enforcement official has come forward to say this. But this business of spying, and speaking of the Freedom Convoy, you may recall, Alexa, last month, Efren and I went up to Ottawa again to interview Rob Stocky. He was an ex-Ottawa Police Service officer, and to his shock and horror, received a letter from the Attorney General notifying him, as they have to do after either 60 or 90 days, we were wiretapping your electronic devices. So his computer, his cell phone, his landline, you name it. And what was his sin? Remember, this is ex-law enforcement himself. It was apparently giving a speech at one of the Freedom Convoy rallies. Alexa, what is happening here? We are devolving more and more into a police state, and no, I am not exaggerating when I say that.
But Montreal and Quebec is already a police state, so just by example, I went this morning to be part of Legault campaign, to just announce a new candidate, and the police almost arrested me because I was not allowed as a journalist on the place. So for me, it's nothing is surprising me anymore. Quebec and Montreal, the police are more closer from the politics than never happened in the past. And it's the same everywhere. It's the same in Ottawa, in Ontario, and all the province in Canada. I think you have some more provinces that are more free, that would say that the police are more reasonable. But seriously, when we look at Ontario and especially the province of Quebec, it's not getting better.
Oh, 100%, Alexa, unless we forget what happened to you in February, that horrific assault on you by a law enforcement officer in terms of a canister that hit your thigh, the pepper spray. We all know that story, and we're going to keep digging to get justice for sure. But remind us, what happened? A Montreal police officer was threatening you with arrest for practicing journalism on the public square? What were the details there?
No, I went this morning. So he wanted to. It was on their webpage. I subscribe. I enter my name. I say that I will attempt for the participation of the event because, as you know, same if I write to the party, the CAC, they keep denying my email for being accredited. They say that, no, we cannot accredit you, but they don't want to give me any information. But now I know because I went there and it took me 1 minute inside and they came to see me and say, for who you are. And I was like, but I'm here for the event. And they say, no, for who you were. And they knew me. They knew me all right away. And I say, I work for Ribbon News. They say, I'm sorry, you will need to leave. We don't endorse. We don't take in consideration Ribbon News. We don't want you here. You're banned. And I was like, is it the party?
They didn't
or
give
is
you.
It like,
but Alexa, they didn't give you a tangible reason for why you're banned. Just they don't like you. Unbelievable.
Zero.
Well, at least they didn't, utter that infamous statement that they did about a year and a half ago. I can't remember. I think it might have been to Yankee or maybe it was Lincoln or Efron when one of the Montreal police officers called us Jew media. What the hell was that? But in any event, that is a disgrace, and we'll...
especially because the police push us many, many times and use physical touch for like saying to us like we need to leave, and this is not okay. A police should not touch you until like they say you're under arrest. When you're under arrest, they can touch you because they can arrest you, but they need to have a reason for that. We didn't have any reason. We were leaving, and they actually grab our arm, push us, and this is a really disgrace what we see so far in Canada.
Absolutely, Alexa. And to go back a year ago in April when we were on the Montreal houseboat, we were actually playing nice with the cops. Ezra offered the deal. If you want to go on to the boat without a warrant, we will acquiesce to that demand on the condition that for every officer that goes on the boat, a corresponding Rebel News staffer also comes on the boat. And I'll tell you why we made that stipulation, folks. Our distrust of the Montreal Police Service is so great, I wouldn't put it past these guys to plant something on the boat if we let them go in unsupervised. But the point is, Alexa, they said no deal. Well, how does that diminish your searching ability? It's just going to be one of us as a shadow, not someone interfering, and they would not acquiesce to that. So that makes me think they had a trick up their sleeve. And this business now of the RCMP using spyware, I think, Alexa, we are now beginning to understand the infamous quote of Justin Trudeau going back 8 years, in which he said he has a basic admiration for the dictatorship of China, because this is China stuff. I mean, they manufacture probably the lion's share of the world's spyware devices, and they spy on their citizens. And now we're understanding, I guess, more and more with every passing month why it is Justin Trudeau admires the basic dictatorship of China. Unbelievable that somebody vying to become a world leader of a Western democracy actually said he admired an oppressive communist state. But a bit of China every day, it seems, Alexa, is coming across the pond right here to Canada.
Yeah, but people did vote for him. That's the worst.
Well, it is there's that Meryl Streep movie, It's Complicated. And I think there's a lot of factors. It was we had two duds as leaders for the Conservative Party that waffled. A lot of Conservative voters stayed at home. And don't forget, I mean, I know our electoral system doesn't work this way, but when it came to the actual vote total, the Conservatives had more votes in 2019 and 2021 than the Liberal Party. Of course, you got to be strategic where you get your votes to win seats. So that's a nothing burger. I would also argue that what plays in favor of a Conservative victory is a strong NDP, which would detract votes and seats from the Liberal Party. Right now, under Jagmeet Singh, I'm sorry, Alexa, the NDP is not a credible party. When you see Jagmeet Singh every day condemning this government, and then when it comes to a vote in the House, propping it up, that's garbage. And it is motivated, I am certain, given the timeline, because the deal is till 2025. Isn't it special? Isn't it such a coincidence that would be the 6th year in the House for Jagmeet Singh? Therefore, even if he loses, he qualifies for a full government pension. How despicable. And I think those were the factors at play. And I personally think if we have someone strong like Poilievre, with the caveat that he comes as advertised, let's never forget, because, fool me once, fool me twice. Please, let us hope we're not being fooled a third time. I personally do trust Mr. Poilievre. But I think that is the reason that Justin Trudeau has hung around well past his best before date.
But don't forget, though, the only thing that can really be bad for Poilievre is the fact that he wants to defund CBC. And CBC, it's a state media, and they will use it against him during the campaign if we rule for another election.
Oh, but Alexa, 'twas ever thus. Even if Poilievre supported the CBC, they're still going to go on a witch hunt. I am sure right now CBC reporters are turning every stone in the Ottawa area trying to find some dirt to smear Poilievre. Maybe they've even found what they consider to be something scandalous, and they're keeping their powder dry until he wins. And then, and as I said, 'twas ever thus with the CBC government funded, but it's the mainstream media itself now, Alexa, more than $600 million a year to prop up failed businesses, which is what the mainstream media is. They cannot survive basically like we survive. We ask for donations. We have premium content. We sell a little bit of merchandise. And, it's always so funny, Alexa, our haters out there. They'll say, oh, look at Rebel News begging again. Well, you know what? Screw you. This is the most honest way to raise money. We simply ask, if you have money, donate. Thank you. If you don't, well, you get to see most of our content for free anyways.
Yeah.
No harm. Meanwhile, the mainstream media and the CBC, they take a direct deduction out of your paycheck every 2 weeks. So you tell me what is the more honest way of fundraising?
Exactly. It's what I was thinking. People who are actually complaining that we are crowdfunding the fact that we need to continue our journalism, but at least we don't have big corporation to tell you need to report on this and not on this, and shut your mouth on this, and just do what we tell you to do.
Yep.
And that's it. Us, we do whatever we do because we have nobody to tell us what to do. We report on what we think that is really important to tell the viewer and what the viewer wants to hear as well. Because you have so many questions that have no answer right now that we need to give.
And you know what, Alexa, you make a really good point about listening to what the viewers want. And they chime in, and I love Rebel News viewers because some of the comments make me laugh out loud. They're so, wickedly funny. And meanwhile, the CBC, if there's a so-called sensitive story, you go there, either your comment gets deleted or they put up a little banner saying all comments for this story are no longer being accepted. So CBC, in other words, Alexa, they'll take your money. Oh, yeah, we have no problem with that. But they don't want to hear your opinion, especially if it goes contrary to their narrative.
Yep. So just by example, you have an article that was published and it was falsely writing. And so many people have write to the newspaper to say it's not accurate. It's not true. They never modify at all the article.
Wow. Yeah, they don't even hide it anymore, the dishonesty. In any event, Alexa, we need to get to some super chats. But before we do, we have another ad to run. Yes, this is how we pay the bills, all you Rebel News haters. We're trying to get a little bit of do-re-mi from our merchandise. I'm sure you don't mind.
I have lots.
There you go. What a lovely logo. And I love that cap. I love how the Rebel logo pops.
Go with my cap.
Oh, look at you. Boy, it really accentuates your eyes, Alexa. I got to tell you. Why don't we run that ad and then get to some of our super chats?
Adam Sos here for Rebel News. Our company is growing quickly, and we'd actually like for your company to grow too. That's why this ad space that I'm speaking through right now is actually available for you to purchase. So instead of people listening to me, they could actually be learning about your company, learning about your business. If this interests you, if this is an opportunity you'd like to capitalize on, send us an email at ads@rebelnews.com.
Well, there you go. Does it look like Adam is pumping iron these days? It looks like he's getting more muscular every time I see him doing a promo. What do you think?
This is the horse.
Yeah, that's true. In any event, why don't we get to some of our chats from our beloved viewers? Are you going to read them, Alexa?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Olivia Newton-John passed yesterday. So many grew up listening to her beautiful voice. I agree. certainly a different time in just 50 years. Love her music. Thank you to you both, and Rebel. Thank you, Times, for $1. It's really appreciated. And
Thanks.
I agree, Olivia, Newton John. I love her, especially in Greece. That movie was made when I was young. I really loved that, and she sang really, really so good in that movie. And with John Travolta, I think it's one of my best movie when I was young. I don't know. What about you?
You know what? I always give credit where credit is due. I have a subscription to the Toronto Sun, yes, the print version. And when they do a good front page, they really nail it out of the ballpark. And this was their front page today, Alexa. And I thought that was beautiful. Hopelessly devoted. And the subhead reads, "Summer nights will never be the same again as Grease legend Olivia Newton-John loses cancer fight." So just a beautiful front page, I think. Yeah, she had a fantastic voice. Even when she's in a bad movie like Xanadu, she had a very special voice. And of course, who can ever forget, especially males of a certain age, will never forget the music video, Let's Get Physical, with Olivia Newton-John in her 20-minute workout ensemble. So, a great talent that's lost. And, it's funny, Alexa, as we get older, and I'm older than you, of course, but with every passing week, I know. With every passing week, you see the passing of somebody that was special, when you were a younger adult, someone that was special when you were a child even. And, it's this ongoing subtraction of everyone that we grew up with. Even if you never met them, you just watch their movies, listen to their music. And it's just heartbreaking in a way, I think.
What's your most important figure in your life?
Oh, in terms of a celebrity?
Yeah.
You know what? That is a fantastic question, and you have really caught me on the spot. Let's see, who would I be most sad to see the passing of? I have to give that some thought, Alexa. What I'm going to turn it around to you. Who is your idol that you want to see living well into the future?
I would say that I always had an admiration for Julia Roberts.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I really love what she's doing, and especially in my favorite movie, it's she's a prostitute in that movie with
Pretty Woman.
What is it? Pretty Woman. Yeah. So she played with my actually favorite actor in
Richard
this
Gere?
world. So, oh my God, he's so sexy.
There you go. Well, you know what? I've given some thought. Here's my answer. It's not somebody from celebrity culture, but it's the man we talked about at the beginning of the show. It's Donald Trump. He's getting on in age. I hope he stays healthy because he is America's real-life Superman. He's got to put his cape on in 2024 and rescue the United States of America. And I wish him nothing but health and happiness because Americans and America need that man more than ever. So there you go. Any event, do we have another super chat there? Yes. Alexa?
Oh, it's me. Okay. It's because you don't have your sunglasses or your glasses. Frasbo, $5. Thank you. Sorry, I will read on my phone. If you are too lazy to go shopping for yourself, try it. You will notice all those empty shelves and high prices. Even in the dollar store, they have placed those large shopping bags to cover up the loss of produce. Even bread is in short supply and expensive. I agree. The bread is so expensive. It's double price than I buy it before. And that is really recently.
Yeah, if you can get it. And Frasbo, you're absolutely right. And beyond groceries, and we had a conversation off air about this months ago, Alexa, try getting certain makes and models of automobiles because of the microchip shortage. They are simply not being produced. I go by, in walking distance of my house in Richmond Hill, there's about 7 car dealerships. Alexa, you would not believe how empty the lots are of new and even used inventory. They're not being manufactured. I was at my local bicycle store the other day. They were saying they've got some bikes coming in that are the sub $1,000 mark, but the more elite bikes that are in the thousands, they don't expect those to be in stock until 2024. Can you imagine? Yeah. You're a bicycle store and you've got no good bicycles to sell. And so this, COVID-19, the way it shut down industries and the supply chains, there's still so much recovery to come. And again, we have, I think, buffoons in office both in the United States and in Canada. So I don't expect it to get better anytime soon because, again, Alexa, it doesn't affect them, right?
No, they want us to eat that.
Ooh, oh my goodness. So just before my lunch. Good Lord. What were those? Were those mealworms?
It's giant worms.
Oh my gosh. By the way,
it's not.
I got to ask this question, Alexa. If you are vegetarian or vegan, what is the policy on eating bugs like the...
You can't eat bugs.
You can't?
No.
Looks like I'm going to be a vegetarian. Oh my... Are you kidding? I feel like Sigourney Weaver, an alien. What the hell? Jeez, flamethrower.
Yeah. That one is not the best one, but...
Oh my!
I got like some good one. Seriously, this one I decided to bring it just for you because I think you will love it.
What in blue hell is that? Oh man, we've gone from alien to predator. Unbelievable.
This is your next lunch.
Maybe there is some merit to going vegan after all. And I gotta tell you, Alexa, I don't know if you've seen this movie, but I strongly recommend it. I mentioned this in a monologue a couple of weeks ago. The film starring Charlton Heston from 1973, based on a 1965 novel. Make Room, Make Room. The movie was called Soylent Green. It is actually set, it was filmed in 73, but it is set today, 2022 in New York City. And it is, I'm not gonna give away the spoiler, but Soylent Green, when you find out what it is, for those who haven't seen the film, it's gonna make a dinner of bugs look like a meal of filet mignon. So as you're seeing on the screen, this is New York City in 2022, population 40 million. They got that part right in terms, wrong rather, in terms of the overpopulation. But it is the central theme to this film is a food substitute, and it's not burger and fries anymore, unfortunately. So I urge everyone to go and see, to get a copy of this film. It is eerily prescient. In any event, do we have another chat, my friend?
Oh, yeah, we have a lot, actually.
Okay, that's good.
So we have King7734, $1, thank you. Does the rainbow community get bent out of shape when they heard a person refer to as an interpreter? It's a translator. Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah,
I catch it afterwards.
Yeah, all I know is if there's a cross-dresser out there, folks, that's a little chubby, don't call him, her, Zer, trans fat.
No. Say seriously, at the trans march, it was something. It was something.
There's probably already a Human Rights Commission complaint being typed as we speak. But
yeah. So I arrived there. It took me not even one person I interviewed. Someone came to me and say, "For who you are," and keep asking me. So I say, "I'm a work for Rebellions," and they say, "You're not extreme right wings. What are you doing here? Go away. Oh, you can sleep at night. You should be ashamed to be here." I was like, "I'm just asking question. You are free to talk or not." And that person came to me and say, like, "Do you know what is a consent? Like being consent?" I say, "But you're talking to me, so you're consent that to talk to me." And they were like, "Oh my God, we are so far away from like what is true." And I was like, "Oh my God, but what is going on there?" Like, I'm just asking question. You're free to answer, and if you feel like you don't want to answer, it's fine. I'm going to be respectful and let you alone. But these people were so aggressive. Like, not all, but just a really small part of them came to me and were not happy.
Oh no, I think there would be a sufficient percentage of that crowd that are mentally ill, and back in the good old days when we had asylums, they would be residing there. I mean, but if we're looking at, you know, the trans community, and they accuse you of being far right, and of course far right means you're right of center of, I don't know, Mao Zedong or Karl Marx. That's their definition of far right. Are there not those in the trans community that are right of center themselves? I mean, why do they think that part of the identity of being a trans person means you have to be far left? And why do they think they're allowed, these people who are always worried about being triggered, you know, by being misgendered? And I don't even know who's who in the zoo in that clip I saw there, Alexa. But why is it that they're so handsy with you and your microphone? Why do they have this entitlement to physicality because you're asking questions they deem to be impolite? What a disgrace. And one other thing, Alexa, I thought we had the whole Gay Pride month in June. It used to be a day, then a week, then it was a whole month. I travel around the GTA. I still see that rainbow flag flying. We're going into mid-August, so I guess the next step is Gay Pride season.
The summer.
Yeah, a whole season, and then the whole year. But I'm sure there must have been a march in June in Montreal for that community. Why another one in August?
So they say that is the only one for the transgender. So this weekend they had like the Gay Pride Festival, I think. So the Olympic Stadium had like a big place with music DJ, and it was like all Gay Pride there. And in the Gay Village, they had like on the Saturday the transgender march, and the day after that was supposed to be LGBTQ plus march, but that was canceled because of the lack of volunteer for security. I don't know, it's because of us the day before, but whatever. So is that like it had one in June, and now it's in August, and probably now we will see like more and more events like coming. But it's just like, I don't know if you ever went to the Gay Village in Montreal. I don't know if you ever went there, but I would say that it's not really
I probably drove by it at about 150 kilometers an hour. Anyways, continue.
But it's actually not a place for children. Like on the door of like institution, you can see like men almost naked, like picture everywhere. And my point of view is just like, I don't care, like live your life all you want, and I respect you, and I actually share all my respect. But why you need the need to expose this kind of image, especially when you see, you know that you have some children around. You know that some children will pass there at one moment. How can you explain that to a children that doesn't know what is the act of sex yet?
Alexa, I have long asked that query for decades, because same here in Toronto, when the Pride March is on, everybody, well, not everybody, but a great proportion of people take off all their clothes. They've got their junk airing in public view. And what I've always asked, and I've never gotten an answer, what does Pride, and whether you're a gay man, a lesbian, bisexual, transgender, what does Pride have to do with nudity? Why do you have to march in your birthday suit? And also for law enforcement, why the double standard? You know, if I took off my clothes at the St. Patrick's Day parade or the Santa Claus parade, I would be rightfully tackled by the Toronto Police Service. Nobody wants to see that. But why does that law go on the back burner? Oh, and isn't this great? We're teaching a kid how to pole dance. You know, that's the other thing too. If you're a mature adult, you know, if you're over 18, you know, you have the right to live your life the way you want it. But this indoctrination of youth. And one final thing, you said that the August parade of trans, that was the only trans parade. But going back to June, if this is for the LGBTQ on and on community, the T in that acronym is transgender. So they're part of that collective, right? Isn't that
But
so?
they want their own one. They want their own one because they think that they are more not really as respect as the rest of LGBTQ plus, because it's actually a really taboo topic that is like transitioning of sex. They want their own marks, you know?
So isn't this rich? They're being exclusionary. They're being discriminatory. Gee, you transgenders, why are you being so homophobic and biphobic and lesbian phobic? Shouldn't we all be one big, happy, diverse crew? Anyways, I'm getting the circle from Olivia. We got it.
I don't see it, mate.
We're already past 1 o'clock. Keep going, Alexa.
Okay, so we have Annalisa, 1964, almost 1984. $10, thank you. Hello, Alexa, and big smooshy to my sweet Menzi. Keep up the great work.
Oh, Annalisa, thank you so much for that donation. If you haven't seen Annalisa's tweets, she really likes me for some unexplainable reason, and I believe she's in northern Alberta. So thank you, Annalisa. You always make my day, and thank you for your donation.
Yeah. So we have Adam Ottawa. Thanks to always be there. You always be there. So thanks for your dollar. So the paid coordinator for my local food bank is an active supporter of the WEF on Twitter. I feel like bringing them a case of cricket to hand out to their client. Wouldn't that be a great video?
Oh,
probably.
My God. Adam, please follow through with that. And if you can find out wherever Alexa bought those scorpions and beetles and all those other creepy crawlies, yeah, bring it. And and keep the camera rolling. I think that's a brilliant video, my friend. And please send it along. But who knows, Alexa, maybe they're all in on the bug eating and they'll thank Adam Ottawa very much for his donation, and it'll be a nothing burger. But yeah, I think it's a great thing to put to the test.
Yeah, probably next time it would be to Justin Trudeau. Well, we never know. So just that birthday, $2, thank you. His mother is the one that know for sure. Mother of who?
I'm sure that's in reference, Alexa, to Maggie Trudeau. Or whatever surname. I think she goes by 6 different surnames. True. She just gets around, doesn't she? But yeah, you're right. Maggie Trudeau would know for sure. So if anyone should bump into Justin's mom, hey, doesn't hurt to ask the question.
Yeah, but record.
Oh, yeah. Always record.
So we have GCMN84, $10, thank you. Shame on the police. Alexa is always welcome to my party. Hire back our hero.ca. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. But what about me? What am I, Scotch Mist? How come I don't get the party invite? Just Alexa. Story of my life.
Sorry. Yeah. So we have private property, $7. Thank you. Trudeau, inflation is killing my retirement, but I cannot afford not to support the rebel. Thank you so much. That's really kind. I'm sorry, though.
Yeah, that's a beautiful comment, private property. And by the way, private property, one of the rights or wannabe rights that should be in our Constitution. It is not there. They don't respect our private property. And to go back to your narrative of the World Economic Forum, that's something else they would like us to give up too. You don't own anything. But thank you so much for making that donation. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you so much. So we have AMT 60, $1. Thank you. David, I missed you. Alexa, I love how you and David interact. All media needs to be defunded, not just CBC, as they all lie. And don't give the other side of the story. If I won a big lottery, I would Canadian? I would CAD. Probably it's like giving. If I won a big lottery, I would CAD.
Maybe that means
like
cash
Canadian?
For Alexa and David. Is that what it stands for?
Oh, I
hope it stands for that. Well, thank you very much, and and thank you for the kind words, and good luck with the lottery. Although, it's funny, I was at a convenience store, Alexa, and there was a guy in front of me, and he might have been homeless because he had on, very dirty clothing, and he was buying a pack of cigarettes, and the clerk said, "Sir, would you like a ticket for tonight's Lotto 649 draw?" And he went, what's the jackpot? And she said, 17 million. And he went, nah, right? I think $17 would make a difference in this guy's life, let alone 17 million. But you know what? He did the right thing probably, because they say lottery tickets are really an idiot tax. And by that, I mean, you're looking at one of the biggest idiots in Canada, folks, with the amount I spend on that Hail Mary pass. But such is life.
Oh, you spend for lottery?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, David.
Yeah, you won't be saying that when that 70 million comes through. And
only if I have 1 million on that.
Would you settle for a ride in my Ferrari?
A ride? Only that I get? Oh, come on. You're better than that.
Believe me, I'll take care of everybody, baby. I just got to win the prize first, okay?
So we have our last chat. It's Maverick West. $10. Thank you. Thanks you for all you're doing. Thank you so much for your donation. And thank you. We are doing what we want, that is, I think, second turn. We are doing our best for showing you what you want to hear. And I think it's important to confront politicians, because they don't have proper opposition and confrontation, because it's always planned in advance. And we give the voice of people who are not being heard from media, but from politicians as well. As what we saw during the pandemic, so many people have so many things to say, but nobody were there to open their ears to listen to them.
You're so right, Alexa. And if it wasn't for us and a few other very select media outlets in Canada, independent media outlets, you wouldn't be getting that other side of the story. So Maverick West, thank you very much for that $10 donation. That was very generous. Well, that brings an end to...
We have another one. I think it's because of you, David.
Okay.
We have GCM and 84, $10. We have limited seed, David. You see, you are invited.
Oh, I see. That's why. Okay. Well, you know what? I was never a good player. What do they call that game from our childhood? you march around the chairs and they stop the music.
Oh
and
my God, yeah. It's magical.
Musical chairs. Thank you,
Musical
Super
chair,
Producer
yeah.
Olivia. It's been so long. Yeah. So it looks like I'm a loser too on virtual musical chairs. So there you go.
Oh,
but Alexa
no.
is a real hoot at a party. Let me tell you, she's a wonderful cook, a great dancer, and an all-out swell woman. Let me tell you.
And I'm just waiting for the ring, huh? With the $17 million.
What kind of ring?
The $17 million one.
Okay, then. I'll have to run that by Lady Menzoid for approval. Yikes. Anyways, I better get out of here before I get into real trouble, folks. I want to thank our producers, Denny, Efren, and, of course, super producer Olivia. Thank you to all those who tuned in, especially those who contributed some money. I also want to thank my lovely co-host, Alexa Laval from Montreal. There'll be 2 other Rebels here tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern. And in the meantime, folks, as always, stay sane.
Just a quick one from me. I've just wrapped up an interview with a dairy farmer who has had this farmland passed down to him for generations, and they are extremely concerned about what's going on with the Netherlands government, Mark Rutte, and of course technically the World Economic Forum. Now, we're seeing this overarch from this government since 2019, where they want to cap nitrogen emissions, which means slashing livestock by 50%, fertilizer usage, and there's even talk of taking and seizing the farmers' lands to build houses on top. This is what the farmers, of course, are telling me. You can keep up to date with all of these reports over at farmerrebellion.com. Head on over there, keep yourself updated with all the reports here in the Netherlands. And of course, you can still chip in if you would like to. The option is there for you. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for the support so far.